Yeah. And you're no longer a player? Doing puzzles and playing spades every day?
From dementia.
Yeah. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. No one can. You know, her depression is about not being in the White House anymore.
That, I mean, she probably is thinking what I'm thinking. I mean, if they announced today that Biden wasn't running anymore and that he was being replaced by Michelle, you could make a case that there could be a contest there as opposed to what's going on with Biden. And I'm sure if we realize that, I'm sure Michelle realizes that.
Oh, yeah.
That doubles and triples her anger, which doubles and triples her depression, and it's not a fun place to be.
Well, I remember even H.W. Bush. I saw an interview with him, and he talked about the depression he suffered when he left the White House because it's a big lifestyle change.
Just related to anybody who retires, you have time on your hands.
Well, these people have power and influence, and now they have none. It's different. It's not just a regular person who retires. I mean,
something going on behind the scenes we don't know about.
If there was something going on behind the scenes, they wouldn't be doing puzzles and playing spades and being depressed.
Well, you know, how do you know that's true?
I can hear it in her voice. Listen. Let me just play a little bit of it. She doesn't sound happy.
I know that I am dealing with some form of low-grade depression.
Yeah, she doesn't sound happy to me.
So low grade.
You know, don't worry. Things will turn around. Trump will be reelected, Michelle, and everything will be fine.
It'll return to normal. More rioting in where was it in
Portland?
Last night, yeah. I thought all that stuff was resolved.
You know, it seems to me when the locals in Portland, the government officials are finally turning on the rioters openly, right? The police chief and others, they're finally saying enough. They're getting tired of it. Enough of this summer of love. I mean, how much of it can you take? I mean, what has Portland done to deserve this? I guess spoiled their children. I guess maybe.
They elected these people. They put them in office. They got to bear some responsibility.
Well, you know, did you watch any of the Yates hearing yesterday? Well, I just have one clip, and this is her talking about Comey with Lindsey Graham.
Did Comey go rogue?
You could use that term, yes.
Finally.
Finally. You know, she threw Comey under the bus yesterday, and this Durham probe, they're telling us we're going to have some indictments soon. Sounds like Comey may get that indictment. I thought he was untouchable, but they're throwing him under the bus.
He's one of the first ones I could imagine they would indict.
Really?
Brennan. And who's the Clapper?
Really?
3 I see.
Yeah, you know, see...
When I say that, I mean, those are the ones who should be indicted, whether they will be.
Yeah.
It's very hard to have faith and confidence with what's going on and the amount of time it's taken to get this far with no ostensible results yet.
Well, the thing with Comey is so insane that he really does not believe he's done anything wrong. So when he is questioned, he just spills his guts because he thinks he's a patriot. So these other guys like Brennan and Clapper, they're more together with reality and they don't talk so much. Yeah. So since he doesn't think he's done anything wrong and thinks he should be celebrated and awarded, he thinks he probably should be FBI director the next time a Democrat becomes president. He spills his guts when they talk to him, so it makes him more indictable than someone like Brennan. You know, when they start. Well, this thing about Sally Yates. See, this is what I think they're throwing him under the bus, Comey, and all of them have been interviewed by Durham and his team, Sally Yates and all of them, and they have a knitting circle. They talk about what they were asked. So I think people like Sally Yates have a very good idea where Durham is going because all of them have been interviewed by him. and they know what answers they've given. And I think they've made a decision to lay everything on Comey instead of Brennan and I think Clapper's been cooperating with them. I thought that all along. Clapper. Yeah, I've seen him on a lot of interviews on CNN, and I think he's been a cooperating witness.
Yates.
No, she's not cooperating. She's not a cooperating witness.
Cooperating with Comey, she didn't help his case any.
She's cooperating, helping Comey get indicted. Yeah. I noticed that hearing didn't get as much play as the Barr hearing did last week, because the press don't want that out there. You know, I was talking earlier, though, before you joined us, the story in Politico, the Trump campaign is knocking on 1 million doors a week campaigning. The Democrats are knocking on 0 doors. And the Democrats are not even running a campaign. And after yesterday, Biden said he's not going to he's going to accept the nomination in his basement, like Joan Crawford and Mommy Dearest accepting her Oscar in a bed. I think the Democrats have given up on this election. I think they've totally given up, and they're not wasting their energy or resources, and they want to maybe clean house with some of these radicals.
I'm not going to permit myself to believe that until I start to see the change in the polls.
Oh, you're never going to see that. No.
See, it's got
No.
to happen.
Yeah, no.
If it occurs, it's got to happen.
I can't imagine. The polls are always against the Republicans. Always. No matter who's running, they're always against the Republicans. I've never seen an election where the polls were in favor of the Republicans. When he asked the black guy if he was a junkie. Oh yeah, I have that. I haven't played it yet.
My recollection, I thought it happened at the same time, but there was a point yesterday where Biden started to stutter.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, I thought it was around that time.
Well, when Biden is questioned, he loses his cool. And I'm sure Trump has realized this and will probably try to trigger him during a debate if it happens. I don't think there's going to be a debate. I don't think Biden's going to debate Trump. I don't think there'll be one debate.
I don't see how they could do it.
Well, Joe Biden told Perino the other day they're going to do 3. I think they're just saying that until after the convention. And once the nomination is firmed up, no debate. I mean, he won't even go accept the nomination. How's he, come on. He's setting a precedent on not debate. If he goes to the convention, it's hard for him to say, well, I can't go to the debate. I can't go to the debate, but I went to the convention. So, no, there will be 0 debates, which is unheard of. Unheard of in a president. I don't think it's ever happened before.
Somebody that I have heard comment from the Republican side about the consequences of him canceling all debates is that it would be the end for Biden.
Well, I think the Democrats already know it's the end. See, I don't think the Democrats have any plans on winning this election, not the presidential election. And that includes Pelosi. I think they've accepted that they're going to lose. They see the real polls, not the phony ones we see on TV. If they thought they had any chance, they would be doing something. Obama wouldn't be playing cards at night. He would be contacting people online and doing virtual events. No. And that nomination acceptance is huge. That's primetime coverage. So what are they going to do? Have a camera in the basement with Joe Biden accepting the nomination from his basement? It's unheard of. It's unheard of. And Trump says he may accept it at the White House, which he should. That's where he lives. That's his house.
It's going to happen. It's not a good strategic.
It's a good one.
Real.
It's a good strategic move.
Version.
He's triggering them. He just said that to trigger them.
Yeah, he does have a very unique ability to pull people's strings.
Yeah.
Know where their soft spots are.
Yeah.
There are plenty of soft spots, that's for sure.
But let me play this clip. This is Biden with the black reporter yesterday.
And then I want to take some calls.
In this election, President Trump has made your mental state a campaign topic. And when asked in June if you've been tested for cognitive decline, you've responded that you're constantly tested in effect because you're in situations like this on the campaign trail. But please clarify specifically, have you taken a cognitive
No,
test?
I haven't taken the test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say?
I mean, he lost it. He's just crotchety. I think he failed the test yesterday. Can you? Yeah.
The thing that's important to note, he does get worse by the day. I mean, there's no...
Well, that's what I don't get. Why is he declining so much so fast? He's being locked up at home.
I think the pressure of and humiliation of going through this campaign, I think, has taken a toll.
Yeah, obviously.
Going up for a regular
Steve Kane
interview
Show.
with a journalist who
Yeah.
tends to be sympathetic,
Yeah.
excoriated,
Do you want to take some calls?
our president.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to take some calls? All right. You're on the radio. Good morning. Good morning. You're on the air.
Brian and Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I was listening to your commentary this morning about Joe Biden, and Steve, this is directed towards you. If he gets a little bit flustered or
A little bit?
Has indecision when he's questioned.
Well, but when you say that, you don't mean a little. He blows his stack. He has a Vesuvius. That's not a little frustrated.
Well,
More than a little.
The point I'm trying to make here, Steve and Brian, is when that happens, when he has those moments of excitement, of indecision, I will term it, he inflects a word at the end of his statement, which is, man, like, that's a bunch of malarkey.
He says that a lot. Yeah.
Or one cocaine man or something. And this is a bigger point that I want to make to you. When Tara Reid made that accusation of sexual...
Mm-hmm.
What Joe Biden said, which is this. What's the matter?
Yes, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
I think there's a shred of truth to that Tara Reid accusation, just because that simple man inflection that Joe uses.
Let me ask you, you're absolutely correct. If the Democrats, let me ask you, caller, if the Democrats thought that there was a chance to beat Trump, would they have this crotchety old coot running right now, or would they plug in someone that was with it?
We don't know that they're not going to do that. What's going to happen? Yesterday we were talking about this. I was talking about my bet of $100 at 3-1 that Biden would not be the candidate
Yeah.
against Biden.
Yep. That's a good bet. Yeah, it's a good bet. Listen, we got to take our last break of the second hour, all right? We'll be right back. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve, of course, here with us. We will be back right after this.
This is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060.
Hey, Debbie.
Don't let social social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
It's hurricane season again. This year, forecasters predict as many as 10 hurricanes. Are you prepared if a hurricane strikes? Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware is your hurricane preparation location. You don't want to go through hurricane season without a generator. Ace carry generators for all size homes at prices to fit every budget. Once a hurricane is on television, generators are the first thing to sell out. But you will have the security of knowing you will not be without electricity if a hurricane hits. With your generator from Ace, you will have the security for every hurricane season to come. Ace also have an incredible selection of chainsaws to cut away the fallen debris. Ace Hardware Deerfield is just south of Hillsboro on the west side of US 1. Beach Ace Hardware is located at 232 Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, your first stop for hurricane prep. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hey ladies, are you suffering from the signs and symptoms of menopause? Stop suffering and visit Dr. Mitch Matez. Talk to him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. Bioidentical hormone pellet therapy will reverse the signs and symptoms of menopause. Your mood swings will disappear. You know, you're angry and want to hit someone and then cry the next minute. Those moods will be gone. You will feel amazing, happy, sane, and normal. Your night sweats gone. That foggy brain will be lifted. You will sleep better, and you're not going to need that afternoon cup of coffee or a nap anymore. When your hormones are out of whack, you have zero interest in sex. You will get your libido and sexual desire back. Your husband or boyfriend will be a happy man. Call Dr. Matez for a free consultation. 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, we're back. You know, Steve, I was thinking this. Biden, he really comes out in a rage, and when he's questioned, and someone in the chat said that is a sure sign of dementia, Alzheimer's, with the rage, the anger. It's something.
It's definitely something. He's not all there, and does, and this is probably the most important part of it, does get worse by the day.
Yeah. There's no doubt. And you would think he would not be under a lot of stress, though. He doesn't leave the house. They keep him kind of protected.
A laughing stock, for crying out loud.
Oh, you think he knows that? You think he knows he's a laughing stock?
When you use the word "no," you're talking about in his brain or in his gut?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's, I don't know if he's cognitively accepted that, or if he's trying to block it out. But either way, in his gut, he knows he looks like a fool. He's gets angry.
Yeah.
He made a fool of, and especially in front of a national.
Well, you know, the Democrats are moving on to a new scheme against Trump in New York, and they've said that they've gotten all these Deutsche Bank records that I've heard them talk about for years. That if they, and the Attorney General for the state of New York said there will be a major announcement today in regards to Trump and their investigation of him. So they're moving on to something new. I guess
When nothing works, you have to.
Well, the plague, the global plague didn't work, the latest scheme. So now I guess they're moving on to Deutsche Bank. They go from scheme to scheme.
Diversion, and it's designed, obviously, to try to knock Trump off, but if not, destroy Trump, to divert from Biden.
Well, I don't think there's going to be anything out of this, because whatever the Attorney General in New York is going to announce about Trump, if it was big, if it was going to go somewhere, it would be their October surprise. It wouldn't be this far out. They would do it right before, so it couldn't be clarified, so it couldn't be contested. Doing it this far out, it's just a publicity stunt. It would be my guess.
Successful attempts to destroy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And you know this thing with Fredo's brother, the governor of New York, is begging. Which one are you laughing at? Because he did a couple things yesterday.
Did you see the thing that Cuomo did about calling up his friends and trying to get them to come back?
Oh yeah, that's what I was going. The rich people with money. Yeah, they don't have enough money. Yeah, they're out of money in New York. You know, this has been talked about for years. People with means have been leaving because of the taxes.
So what happened yesterday, and this to me is the most important thing, they made references to the fact this is not the first time that New York has been in a state of financial and spiritual collapse. It's happened before under Dinkins. The town was, I was in New York during the Dinkins period. That was when I was at ABC. And I recall it being shockingly bad. And I was so disappointed I'd waited so long to go back to New York. It had been an ambition and a dream of mine. And the New York I came back to was not the New York that I was raised the 50s, but it pointed out that when good people take over, and sorry about it, folks, the fact is good people, in the case of New York City, were conservative Republican administrations like Giuliani.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if it got straightened out once, it shows that with the right administration, it could get straightened out more than once. And that shows, it gives us hope that New York might return.
Well, this thing with the governor, the governor. So here's what they got, right? Defunding the police, the no bail. You get arrested for anything, you're out in minutes. And all of you that have money, come back to New York with your money and your jewels and your so we our people can rob you. And get out with no bail. I mean, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Of it, and no one's coming back to New York until they keep criminals in jail rather than turn them loose to commit additional crimes before the ink is dry on the blotter.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you yesterday went to see Dr. Troy Lemaski, our chiropractor. How'd that go?
It was wonderful. He has a gentle touch. And
well, what was wrong? Why'd you go over there? What was the problem?
I've always suffered from tensions in the back, the lower back, and in the neck area. And unless I periodically get adjustments, it just gets like a drum. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter. But boy, I had a great adjustment yesterday, and so good to see Dr. Lemaski. He's a super chiropractor. And I've known a lot of chiropractors in my life, but he knows what he's doing.
He's the best, and I've been to a lot of chiropractors. I have never had relief like I've gotten the relief from my pain with Dr. Troy Lemaski. And, you know, if you have been in any type of accident, a car accident, a slip and fall, you know, something around the house, you need to go and see Dr. Troy Lemaski. Oh, yeah. Even if it wasn't recent, even if it was a while back, you want to go see Dr. Troy Lemaski. He knows, he's, yeah. Oh, okay.
When you're in an accident, the one major thing you got to remember, if you're in an accident, never sign anything.
Yeah.
Because that's what these do. The other guy's insurance company tries to get you to, you're feeling okay. Sometimes it takes weeks for the actual pain to kick in.
Oh, yeah.
You've signed your rights away in the meantime, you're in big trouble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and if the insurance company is offering you a check, don't sign it, because you're probably entitled to a lot more. Yeah, they're trying to buy you off. And, I had a major car accident about 10 or 12 years ago. And let me tell you, I've heard people for years say, oh, you don't feel the effects for a long time after sometimes. Because I felt great even the day after. And weeks went by and I started having all kinds of problems. I didn't realize, I don't know why that is, but it was many weeks before I started noticing that I was having trouble. Listen, call Dr. Troy Lemaski. He's an incredible chiropractor. I've talked about the miracle he did on my back many times on the program. If you're suffering from pain in any joint, back pain, neck pain, any joint in your body, if you've been in an accident, especially an automobile accident, give him a call. His number is listed at stevekaneshow.com, 954-463-3036, 954-463-3036. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. It's 8 o'clock. We'll be back with the third and final hour right after this.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Do you suffer from foot pain that just won't go away? Do you have balance issues and are you afraid of falling? Are you in need of orthotics? Are you a diabetic and in need of diabetic shoes and custom inserts? These are just a few reasons why you would call the Soul Authority today. Whether it's in the comfort of your own home or coming to the office at one of our 2 convenient locations in Pembroke Pines or Tamarack, the Soul Authority can take care of all of your podiatric needs. If you're a Medicare recipient, call us today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. And you can also find us online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Call the Soul Authority today and start taking care of your feet.
This is Adrienne Kane, Steve's daughter, and I want to tell you about my MyPillow mattress. I was talking to Dad, and I was telling him I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning all night long. I had an old, worn-out, lumpy, bumpy mattress that was so uncomfortable, I wasn't getting any sleep. A couple of days later, there was a knock at the door, and it was a MyPillow mattress. I slept on it that night, and ever since I've been sleeping the whole night through. No more tossing, no more
Welcome,
turning,
everyone.
no
if you
more
don't mind,
going off
like
in
the video
morning.
if you don't
I'm
mind,
up and
because
ready
these
to
liberal
go and
trolls are
well
always trying to
rested.
dislike my
Kids,
videos. So if you guys
spouse, or
like the
yourself
video, I would
gift of a
appreciate
good
it.
night's sleep with a MyPillow mattress. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. When you use the promo code KANE, you can save up to $300 off your MyPillow mattress. They come in all sizes, from twin to California king and every size in between. Go to mypillow.com and be sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and give the gift of a MyPillow mattress. Worth its weight in restful sleep.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Veterans and spouses of veterans, you may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term care benefits. Call attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group and find out what benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Steve with us. I'm Brian. You know, Steve, when this shutdown started months ago, I was talking about how the liberals are going to use these edicts and emergency orders and public health crisis to push their whole agenda into the future. And yesterday, 2 governors, the governor of Michigan, you know, that lunatic lady in Michigan, and the governor of Nevada issued and the governor of Nevada. So 2 governors did this yesterday. They proclaimed racism to be a public health crisis. Can you imagine racism? Well, I guess they figure. This is the one in Nevada. Governor Steve Sisolak issued a proclamation to formally name racism as a public health crisis. He says, according to the governor's office, experts and studies have shown that negative social determinants, with racism being at the forefront, have adversely impacted the health of minority communities. This has been demonstrated in many forms, including inequitable access to mental health services, a lack of educational and career opportunities among many. Well, no one has access to educational opportunities. They're denying people the right to go back to school.
But it's so disingenuous. It's all about justifying cash.
Yes.
They were not only destroyed their respective states with irresponsible policies that have gotten them deep in debt, but now they want, of course, the rest of us to pay for it.
The fun Black Lives Matter. Yeah.
One of the things I love about Trump, he stands in their way, and they get very frustrated, but there's not a lot they can do.
Well, what they're doing is they're finding a way to fund Black Lives Matter, right? It's a public health crisis now. The state will fund them and their activities.
They side with him.
Yeah, but the only problem with that is after his second term, those can just be signed away. You know, I mean, yeah. 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 Yeah.
We have to maintain majority in Congress, and then we can maybe get something.
Well, you know, there is, for those of you here in Palm Beach County area, you know, Laura Loomer has her primary in 12 days, and the Republican establishment have 5 Republicans running against Laura Loomer in this primary. It's very important to turn out and vote for Laura Loomer. I'll be voting for Laura Loomer. And if she, I want her to be in Congress so bad, Steve. Can you imagine Laura Loomer up there against the squad? It would be beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's on the 18th. Is the that primary is important. I mean, the primary. I mean, you know, listen. This president, if Trump was not winning in a landslide, you would not see these media meltdowns and this violence going on. See, there's no, you know, there's Biden not going to the convention. I think says a lot. I think that says a lot. Maybe, you know what? Maybe he's not going, Steve, because they're not sure he's going to get the nomination like you think. Yeah.
In this hour, if you would like to join us, I'll give you the number. You can write it down. 1-888. For those who are a little slow on the uptake, 888 is 3 8s. 1-888-GO-CANE. That's me, Kane, followed by the numeral 1. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. And we'll try to, what's what I love about talk radio, getting your opinions. What you listen to what we have to say, and we always take people who disagree and put them to the front of the line. This is not one of those shows like most shows where the hosts are trolling for callers who will not give them a hard time. We challenge you to try your best to give us a hard time.
I know it's difficult because we're so right on everything. You know, one problem the Democrats have, too, is, you know, people aren't going to church now because of the coronavirus. And that the black churches are a vital part of the Democrat get out the vote effort. You know, they got all these black preachers that tell everybody who to vote for. And if no one's going to church, they lose that a lot. I mean, you know, the churches are big time organizers on election day and local races, too. Yesterday I was thinking, yeah.
pastors, you wonder who it is that's staying away from church, if it's equally divided between left and right.
I think very few people are going to church. Very few people are going to church. In a lot of liberal places, in liberal states, you can't go to church. Like, you know, they're not letting you go to church in these places. No. And the black vote is not as pro-democrat ever as people think. It's very slim. You know, in some of these states, it's very slim. You know, it's been that way for years. Yeah.
Goes as strongly and solidly to Trump as it appears it may be going right now. Nothing else.
Well, you know how the black churches go. The preachers come up with all the politicians and the black voter guides and tell everyone, you're going to vote for this person, you're going to vote for that person, and this is what you do. And the Democrats don't have that this time. For the first time since the 60s. You know, and I don't know if they've realized that yet. But that's Trump is so popular among blacks anyway. They lose the black church vote arm. You've been to black churches around LA. Remember when you went to Ebenezer? Yeah, he's passed away, I believe.
That was a trip.
Yeah, and they'll have the Democrats there. They'll bring them up and speak in front of the church, and none of that is happening this election.
Pass it down and say, sign it. They don't even.
Yeah, so they've lost the black church. The Democrats have nothing going, and the black church vote, that affects the congressional races, and they have scared to death Democrats from leaving their house. Their voter turnout is going to be so depressed. The Democrat voter turnout is going to be probably the lowest turnout they've had maybe ever, because they've scared their people, like Biden, right? Biden's not leading by, they won't leave their house. They won't. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we get that mouth-breathing moron.
No, that doesn't count.
Liberal out.
Very few. Very few.
What's coming and.
Well, if you watch CNN and MSNBC for a prolonged period of time, your perception of what's going on in America, with the COVID, is much different than if you watch Fox News or One American News or something. And you know, there's a member of my family who exclusively gets their news from MSNBC. They haven't been out of their house since February, and they're terrified. And it's because of MSNBC telling you so. And I was watching CNN last week for a few hours, and the way they were describing the situation in Florida, if that's the only source of information I had, yeah. If I got my information solely from CNN, I wouldn't leave my house either. You know, and that is their voting base. So they have spent this entire year telling their voting base not to go out in public. They even did a thing on how dangerous it was to vote. Remember, there was an election a few months back. The Democrat vote turnout is going to be the lowest we've ever seen, because the mainstream liberal media have convinced their viewers not to leave the house.
Absentee ballots is record-breaking, from what I understand.
Yeah.
We've come in so far.
Well, don't assume that is. They like to assume that's all Democrat. I wouldn't assume that at all. You know, we just had a Republican governor elected, a very strong Trump guy. We defeated, Rick Scott defeated Bill Nelson, who had been in Congress since the 70s or early 80s in Florida. This is a strong, and the president lives here now. This is a very strong Trump state. And, there's a lot of people voting absentee that are older because they're high risk and they don't, but it's not like the old days. A lot of seniors, it used to be all senior citizens were Democrat. I don't think that's the case anymore. There's been a huge change
Based on the votes, the absentee votes that have come in so far, that like in many recent elections, the last vote tally that's going to come in is going to be Palm Beach. That's not just Florida, that's in the country.
Yeah. Palm Beach and Brown, yeah.
Palm Beach is what did it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because this is not an election to fool around with.
I mean, you know, oh, hey, listen, let's take our break, okay? It's 15 minutes after the hour. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
ANE 1, the Roman numeral 1, 1-888-GO-CANE 1. We'll be back with the calls right after these words.
Your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Are you between the ages of 18 and 60 and have thought about getting life insurance but never had the time? Or thought life insurance was too much work? Well, now is the time. Life insurance has changed. People are living longer, so rates are being reduced. These new life insurance policies also have living benefits, which means the owner can accelerate a portion of the policy's initial death benefit should the insured become critically, chronically, or terminally ill. And the majority of applicants get approved without a medical exam and simplified underwriting, which means you're approved even faster. I will advisors can still assist anyone from the ages of 60 to 85 with life insurance. Call Debbie and her team to learn more. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, we're back. Brian Craig here with you, Steve. Of course, here with us. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve, we have on the line Attorney Barry Siegel, our estate planning attorney. Hey, Barry.
Good morning. How are you, Brian?
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing great.
Barry, how are you doing, Barry?
Steve Kane Show.
Steve, I'm doing.
And what's going on at the Siegel Law Group today?
Well, the Siegel Law Group, I had a call with a client yesterday. They called in. Well, they were potential clients. They had an aunt who was in a nursing home, and they wanted to get her on Medicaid, but what they had said to me was that they were going to spend down the last $20,000, $30,000 they had left, and then wanted help getting on Medicaid. And I explained to them what we do. We help people protect the money that they have and get on Medicaid so they don't have to spend it down. And I asked them, well, how long has she been in the nursing home? And she's been in there for some time at about $9,000 a month. So they've been spending down all of this money. It was well over closer to $150,000 that they could have preserved had they come to see me or an elder law attorney who could have helped them protect those assets, get her on Medicaid now, and not have to spend down those assets. So unfortunately, that family did not get the message and didn't take advantage of coming to see an elder law attorney or of our offer to come in for a free consultation and see how this would affect their situation. So anybody else who...
So fortunately, everyone in our audience, they had the benefit of knowing you and hearing the story that you tell, which is really frightening to go through all that money that you didn't need to. Barry, tell them how they can make that appointment for the no-charge consult.
Sure. The easiest way is to call our office, toll free 855-FLA-ESCAPE. That's 855-FLA-3782. You can also check us out on our website, www.siegelLawGroup.com. That's SIEGEL lawgroup.com.
All right, Barry. Thanks. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the phone, Steve. We got Mel. Mel in Boca. You're on the air. Go ahead, Mel.
Yeah.
Mel, how are you?
Okay, Steve. I want to talk about the convention, the Democrat convention, but I just want to add quickly that I used Barry Siegel. He was fabulous. We went to the seminar, and he saved my family when we passed a lot of aggravation and a lot of money. Anyway, did anyone catch, I think it was Laura Ingraham last night, she had a clip from Mario Cuomo begging the Democrat New Yorkers out in the Hamptons,
yes,
New York, to come back, buy you a dinner or cook a dinner or let's have a
yes.
Also, so his son rehashed. So he plagiarized his father's speech. I don't have the Mario Cuomo tape. No, I don't have that. So he plagiarized his father.
Yeah.
Wow.
His father, maybe we have a bad connection. I don't know. Did you say his father?
No, you said Mario Cuomo. You said Mario Cuomo. Okay. Yeah. The current Governor Cuomo, the one that's alive.
The one that's alive. And he was begging his Democratic friends in the Hamptons, all New Yorkers.
It was funny. It was like a comedy bit. It was like a comedy bit he was doing.
It was sad. It
was funny.
Did he mean it to be funny, or was it funny because we don't like him?
Yeah, it was supposed to be satire.
Come on.
You think? I think
it was funny. I mean, I laughed.
I don't think Governor Cuomo was laughing.
You know what they say? You know what they say about all humor is based on a certain amount of truth.
Yeah.
That's a good example of that.
Come back to New York. Please come back to the city. He was like, but they don't want to.
We'll barbecue.
Well, you know, Mel, when you said Mario Cuomo, we might have to give you that Trump cognitive test that we want Biden to take.
I'm getting up there today.
But no, when you said, I was getting excited when you said Mario Cuomo, and the reason I was getting excited is I was going to rush to try to get that clip and put that against Fredo's brother's clip and put them together and see how much he plagiarized his father. But you know, well, you know, I've heard Rush say for years about New York City. Okay, I've heard Rush say for years about New York City that there's only about 5 or 6 families that are supporting the entire city. That most of the money left long ago. Well, because we don't have a state income tax. Yeah, you know. Yeah, I know.
The candidate, I agree with Steve.
Really?
Who do you think? Who do you think? Take a shot.
Then who?
I think Governor Cuomo, but
No.
it's going to be Biden. He's too injured. He's got too much bad history, and his current mental state, is only getting worse. And it's sad for him.
By the day.
I don't think it's going to be Governor Cuomo because, you know, when I saw when Governor Cuomo gave his first coronavirus press conference, I was getting angry because he looked presidential on that first one, and that was kind of like he's running for president, but he's running next time, and I think he's the favorite to get the nomination in the next one.
That it became public, that decision he made that killed thousands.
Yeah, but 4 years ago. 4 years from now, that'll be an ancient history.
Oh, 4 years from now, yeah, we're gonna wait that long.
Yeah, he can't do it this time.
For this disaster
You're gonna wait.
to go away. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be forgotten. And I like how he's trying to project all of his problems on Florida, right? They're setting up checkpoints to enter New York and checking the out-of-state plates and doing all this stuff. Yeah. Who wants to go to New York right now? You have to be out of your mind.
It's more like Escape from New York every day.
Well, Mel, hold on. If it's not going to be Biden, because the convention's in a couple weeks, if it's not going to be Biden, who?
Gender and race, because that seems to be the way the Democrats are going. And they want to pick a black female. Doesn't matter what merit she may have, but that's
right.
Well, no, hold on. They put off. They have put off announcing the VP nomination, and that fits what you guys are saying, that Biden will not be the nominee. That's why they're putting it off, because he's not going to be the nominee.
I have Mel, thanks for your call. Good hearing from you. I have a theory about that. I think that the key figure here is Susan Rice. I think they would like to use Susan Rice, but I think there is some major scandal lurking in the...
Yeah, that she was involved in the coup against Trump. She was in part of the spy op.
Yeah, and...
that's a big negative.
Given their druthers, I think that's who Biden would rather have.
Yeah.
They're hesitating. They can't pull the trigger on it.
Hey, have you heard from your, because one of your kids has the corona? Have you got an update lately on that? How are they doing?
It's Adrian every day. She's doing really well. It's a mild case.
Oh, we lost. What about her kids? Have her kids gotten it? They're old enough to be out of the house now? I didn't realize they were that old. Oh.
She's getting a little better each day. They put her, I was going to write down the name of the medication.
Does it start with an R? Does it start with an R? Does it start with an R? Rose something? Yeah, find out. So she's doing well.
It was never, at its worst, it wasn't terrible. And she gets a little better each day. She's on the mend.
Well, how long has she had the corona? How long has she had it? How long has she had it?
Well, we don't know exactly what the start date was. She's known about it for about 2 weeks now.
Oh, she should be almost over it then. Yeah, so she's almost done.
I'm not worried about her. It seems to be running its course.
Does she know how she got it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Listen, we gotta take a break. I'm gonna call you during. We gotta take a break. I'm gonna call you during the break, Steve. So answer your phone during the break. All right. Hey, listen, guys. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, Brian Craig here. We've been telling you on the Steve Kane Show, for coronavirus testing, stop by any lab test now of Coral Springs and any lab test now of Boca. One of our longtime sponsors, Dr. Mitch Matez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management, went to any lab test now of Boca.
Yeah, your
for
connection's not that
coronavirus
good.
testing
Did
this
you
weekend,
move
And he called in live on the
where you
radio
normally-
to share his experience.
Have him.
Listen, Brian, I have a great
Have
experience
Tyler
for you, but I
disconnected
went
and reconnected.
to any lab test now
Is he right
on
there?
Friday.
Let me know when you
I'm
get
sorry,
it done,
on
'cause
Saturday to get COVID-19 tested. And it was awesome. We had a little experience where we had somebody.
He's just got to disconnect it and reconnect. I'm going to put you on hold for a minute.
By the way, went and had a test. It took 10 days to get the results. We all went into a little bit of a panic, obviously. So we called up Any Lab Test Now. It was about maybe 11:30 in the morning on Saturday. They said, come on right on over. I was anonymous. I didn't announce myself. We went over there. We got there about noon. We checked in. 2 minutes later, they took us back, did our test. We sat in the waiting room for less than 15 minutes. They brought us back, gave us our results, which were negative, and we were on our way home. And shout out to Brittany, the nice young lady who did our test. It was completely painless.
Are you
It
there?
was quick. It was simple. It was
You just got to
easy.
disconnect it and reconnect it. The connection. We're losing the internet
antibodies,
connection.
which tells you if you have the infection now or if you've been exposed to it in the past.
Now, you went to Any Lab Test Now?
What's it saying?
Boca Raton, yeah, in the Sandalfoot Plaza.
Awesome.
Was awesome.
Is that, oh, that's good? Is that high? Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, I'll get him when we come back from the break, thanks.
Doctor recommended. Can I say that in the commercial now? Doctor recommended. Any Lab Test Now of Boca
There you
Raton.
go. Doctor recommended. Yeah, it was really kind of cool, and it was wonderful, and it was easy. And listen, to that end, go over and get tested. This is the test you want to get. It tells you point blank, did you have it, do you have it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's great. So Dr. Mitch Matez personally recommending Any Lab Test Now of Boca.
You heard Dr. Mitch Matez. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is doctor recommended for coronavirus testing. They're located in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441. Give them a call, 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian, joined by Steve. You with us, Steve? Excellent. Everything's fine. Yes. That's right. Oh, it's time to check in with Richard Pearl from Simply Natural.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I was listening to a commercial or a test, and I'm sure they do them. One is doing a free PSA, not just a PSA, but a free PSA test for men. Do that. It'll tell you your risk of having a prostate cancer, or whether you do or not. Chances are, because that test, a lot of times people will have a problem with their prostate enlargement. They'll have a high PSA and they'll wonder if they have cancer, and they'll do a biopsy. But if they do a free PSA, they can find out a percentage of a number, and that number, if it's over 25, means that you're likely not to have cancer. So before someone does a biopsy where they can possibly spread a cancer cell, it would be wise to do a free PSA. Likewise, people who are concerned about, being well, just in general, do a vitamin D test. There's a test that, your score for range of concentration of D is 30 to 100 nanograms per milliliter. And if you take this 25-hydroxy vitamin D test, what will happen is that you'll find out where your number is, and you want that number to be between 65 and 100 nanograms per milliliter. That's the optimal level. So if you're sitting at under 30 or just over 30, it's not good enough. Another test people should do is do what is known as an ApoA1 and ApoB, and it checks certain components of HDL and LDL cholesterol. And these components, these are very important because they will tell you your risk of likelihood of a heart attack. You take the ApoA1 and the ApoB test, and then there's a ratio between them, and based on what that number is, that'll tell you your likelihood of risk of having a heart attack. It's a much better test than just doing cholesterol. So there's a lot. Why not get some good tests done? You do homocysteine and high sensitivity CRP for inflammatory purposes too. People should know these things and have a marker so that know that they're, what their levels are at any given moment. So if something changes drastically or in a way that's obvious, you know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So people should do this, and this way you can do something to protect your life, because the virus is one thing, but that's temporary. Even though they're trying to do something to harm the elections and everything related to that in our way of life, but it will be temporary. With your cardiovascular health, your inflammatory processes, all throughout your body, the risk of cancer, those things are something that you have to make sure that you don't have. So I would do some testing like that.
Well, if people have any questions or want to get further detail from you, tell them how to reach you.
Yeah, you can reach me at Simply Natural. I mean, we're open 7 days a week from 11 to 9 p.m. on the northeast corner of Sunset Strip and University Drive. You can call us at 954-741-4045. Again, 954-741-4045. I just think it's a great segment that you guys did, so I thought I'd just...
Absolutely. All right, we'll finish up the week tomorrow. Have a great day, Richard Pearl. Listen to this, Steve. Things in Portland were worse last night than I thought. Listen to this. This is at the dailywire.com. Rioters, this is last night. Rioters attacked the Portland Police Department's East Precinct last night, which is in a residential area, and tried to run over police officers while fleeing the scene after attempting to set the precinct on fire. Late at night, a group of a few hundred blocked traffic, shined green lasers at police, those things that blind people, attempted to tear down protective boarding on the building, worked to disable surveillance cameras in an attempt to conceal their criminal activity. A member of the group was seen attempting to tear down the surveillance camera off the front door of the East Police Precinct. Other people in the group spray painted the camera. Oh my goodness. As well as the front doors of the police precinct. Members of the group were wearing helmets and carrying shields. They began to ram a large 2x4 in the front glass doors in an attempt to shatter them, the Portland Police Department said. Other members slammed large, heavy objects into the glass doors as well, including large rocks. By 9:50 p.m., those who had been doing all of this successfully did crack the door windows, causing significant damage. This is crazy. When officers moved in to disperse the rioters, they were hit with projectiles and commercial-grade fireworks. Now, keep in mind, they moved out of the downtown area. They're now in the suburbs, right? Doing this in the suburbs. They fired commercial-grade fireworks, which are incredible. I saw a firework accident at C.B. Smith Park once in the 80s, and those are very deadly. People can combust when they get hit by a commercial-grade firework. They're firing those at officers. The department says because of life safety issues created by members in the group, CS gas and crowd control munitions were used. While dispersing efforts continued, a truck associated with the group attempted to run over several officers. Officers were pelted with large rocks the size of shot puts. What's a shot put again? Is that those... That's that thing you throw. Is that the ball? It's not the disc. It's the ball that they like. Yeah. The size of shot puts, and they had to repel attacks from violent rioters 2 more times over the following 2 hours. It's like assault on Precinct 13. I mean, this was an ongoing attack over a 2-hour period with different waves. This is like Benghazi.
To them, keep it up, keep it up. Have your fun now, because after Election Day, it'll all be up.
Does that sound? Is that Biden's base? Who are these people?
It's Biden's base.
That sounds. Yeah.
Starts to get the keys to watch.
Yeah.
Starts to get near the suburbs. That's when a lot
Chuck.
of votes that are kind of up in the air right now are going to come
You and
down
Bruce Jenner.
on the Republican
Right? That's what Bruce
side.
Jenner.
Because as long as it's not in their area, they don't mind some.
Yeah.
As soon as it gets too close to the suburbs,
Oh, then you've gone too far.
they're not going to put up with that.
they had multiple waves over several. That's like the attack on the embassy in Benghazi. No, what?
Support Lama.
The police?
No, I think I don't know who it was.
Llama.
Big stir. Yeah, they're very peaceful animals. They just sit there chewing their cud.
Yeah.
Everybody down. So they're really desperate. They're calling out the llamas.
You know, one thing that's missing from this. No.
Funny story.
You know, one thing that's missing from this story on this attack is I don't see anything about arrests being made. Yeah.
I don't recall hearing anything about arrests. Perhaps that's because there weren't any.
That's crazy. I mean, that's insane. I don't know why they're not arresting them.
They're fine.
Well, you know what? The police are afraid. They're afraid. No!
Around because these lunatics are using
the green light, laser lights.
Great lasers, which destroy eyesight.
I just couldn't imagine.
Not going to be a very valuable police force if none of them can see.
Well, you know, gun sales, they're flying off the When this corona first started, I went out and bought ammo because I knew ammo would get in short supply real quick. Yeah. And that's interesting because to me that's new gun owners, people that don't already own guns, because they're Democrats that may be voting Republican.
They're going to be Republican votes on election day.
Well, most Republicans already own guns. So what most Republicans do in times of trouble, like I did, you go and you buy ammo because guns last forever, right? The new gun sales, I would think those are a ton of first-time gun owners. In fact, when I went to buy ammo, there was a guy in there buying a gun, and he was about 40, 45 years old. He just came here from New York. It was the first gun he ever owned. And he was buying a Beretta, which is what Mel Gibson had in Lethal Weapon. And he was talking about how his wife was going to kill him when he went home. But I don't think so. You know, with all this talk of defunding the police, people are saying, well, I might have to be my own police. That's a lot of what's going on here.
Pretty much all of what's going on here.
Yeah. Well, I've got plenty of ammo now. Hopefully I'll never...
The police are not going to be able to protect them. That's when it's every man for himself.
They can't protect themselves. The police can't protect themselves when they're under attack like this. So how are they going to protect us? You know, this is really but wasn't it like this in the 60s? All these things in the 60s? You were around then.
My memory is not as...
Probably because you were high, like everybody else back then. Right?
No question of that. No question of that.
But no, things were violent in the 60s. You know?
No, I mean, they were violent, but also it was the flower child era. You know, like my sister in California, she's a 60s flower child.
Yeah.
That was all for, you know, love and peace and, you know, what is it, turn on,
tune in, tune off, tune out? I don't know. That's your generation, not mine.
Violence in it. Well, not a lot. Manson, of course, he was from that era in the 60s, and he was pretty violent. The Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
Charles Manson. I was thinking about the time I went up to Spahn Ranch. Covered by flies with the Manson followers. Charlie was in jail. It was during his trial. And Squeaky Frog was running things. She was easy to remember because of that bright red hair she had. And I remember she looked at me and she said, you know, man, it's going to be a great thing. One of these days, all of a sudden, all the good people that are locked up in jail are going to be let out of jail, because that was her view of reality. The good people were the ones who were jailed, and one day Charlie was going to lead them all and let them all out of jail and rise up and kill all the people that we consider the good people.
Yeah.
And I said to myself at the time, what what a crazy broad this is. And turns out
You were right. You know, she's the one that shot. Is she the one that tried to shoot Ford? Yeah. You know, well, I would hope so. You weren't visiting her in jail. You know, that was a small group, though. You know, how many people were in the fire? There's hundreds of people every night in Portland.
Beatles to a certain degree, but it's a song, Helter Skelter, the Beatles song.
Helter Skelter? I don't know if that's a Beatles song. Now, somebody let me know.
Apology of that phrase. I know it's a Beatles phrase, but I'm kind of curious as to what the context was at the time. But
I'm being told yes, it was Beatles. Helter Skelter was the Beatles on the White Album. It was on the White Album.
I don't know what the theme of the song was. Of course, Charlie made it all about rising up and killing everybody, all the bad people that are on the outside of the jails.
Yeah.
People inside the jails rising up and doing the rest.
People won't like me saying this, but I never liked the Beatles. I thought they were overrated. I thought they were overrated. I never was into the. I never liked the Beatles. No, never. I didn't go through a Beatles phase. Hey, listen, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's the most important part of the show. Gold report time. Yeah. We'll be right back.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
It's hurricane season again. This year, forecasters predict as many as 10 hurricanes. Are you prepared if a hurricane strikes? Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware is your hurricane preparation location. You don't want to go through hurricane season without a generator. Ace carry generators for all size homes at prices to fit every budget. Once a hurricane is on television, generators are the first thing to sell out. But you will have the security of knowing you will not be without electricity if a hurricane hits. With your generator from Ace, you will have the security for every hurricane season to come. Ace also have an incredible selection of chainsaws to cut away the fallen debris.
Nah, I don't like
Ace
the
Hardware
Beatles.
Deerfield is just south
I
of
don't like
Hillsborough,
the
on the west
Beatles.
side of US 1. Beach Ace Hardware is located at 232 Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, your first stop for hurricane prep. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
All right, we are back. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Steve, of course, here with us. And it's that time.
So each and every day at this time, we bring you the Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman, one of the world's leading experts on the precious metals. And he has been with us as a sponsor on the Steve Kane Show for over 15 years, advising clients on trends and movements in the gold and silver markets for over 50 years. And it's getting really interesting. Every day a new high. Must be a pullback today, I'm guessing. I haven't looked, I haven't peeked, but let's go to William and find out. William, how's it looking?
Looking, again, very strong, Steve, on a weekly.
Oh my gosh.
The market has not stopped this push towards much higher prices. Gold up $20.20 yesterday, closing at $2,039.50. It did get up to as much as $2,055 yesterday. Silver closed out the day up 93 cents at $26.94. Platinum was up $27 at $962, and palladium gained $50 at $2,063. The rally hasn't stopped. For gold, it was up as high as $2,065 so far this morning, and that was it. Right now, it's up another $19.50 at $2,058.
Oh my word!
Silver is $1.26. Up at $28.15. We got up to as high as $28.53 so far this morning. Platinum up $20 at $982 the ounce, and palladium up $40 at $2,103. So we are definitely pushing towards $2,100 possibly $2,200 number for gold. There are nothing holding it back at this point.
Steve Kane Show.
It's amazing, and it just keeps
Steve
going
Kane
higher and higher. This is new territory. We've never really had seen a gold market like this. It's just usually you get a big update like we've had lately, and there's a sell-off or a pullback. We're used to buying on the pullbacks, but there's no rest with this. It just keeps driving onward and upward. An amazing thing. So, yeah, any idea where the rest is going to come?
No, I don't. I think at some point we'll have a little bit of a pullback. We'll get overbought, but at this particular time, there is so much paper money out there that is feeding this rally, and the fact that the U.S. dollar is hitting multi-year lows right now, we can expect gold to continue to rally. And at this point, those people who were on the sidelines for such a long time are realizing that this is possibly the only safe haven left for their currency.
No, me either, Rob.
This is a move that may
No doubt. It's all bubblegum garbage today.
Well, a good day to stop into William Youngerman. Do it today. Located at 150 East Park Road in Boca. That is the Bank of America building. William is on the first floor directly across from the Bank of America.
I just don't know if it'll
give him the phone number.
Be here when I get back on Monday. I leave it up during the week and I take it down on Friday.
800-327-5010.
And don't forget that museum quality website, WilliamYoungerman.com.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Well, luckily you're connected to a top expert like William Youngerman, so you know when to hold him and all of that stuff, you know what I mean? Know when to fold him. Don't count your money till the dealing's done. There'll be time enough for counting after the dealing's done, I think. Anyway, Yeah, someone should turn that into a song. It could be. They might even make us. They could even make a series of films based on those very lyrics. I recently watched the Kenny Rogers Gambler movie on Amazon. It is really good. I looked up Helter Skelter for you. Okay, the background of Helter Skelter. This is on Wikipedia. Okay, Helter Skelter is this. I'm just reading from the Wikipedia, so there's some things in here that are obvious. But Helter Skelter is a song by the English rock band The Beatles from their 1968 White Album. It was written by Paul McCartney, credited Lennon McCartney. This, although I've heard people refer to him as Paul McCarthy now. The song was McCartney's attempt to create a sound as loud and dirty as possible. Okay, it's regarded as a key influence in the early development of heavy metal. Okay, and it says here, along with other tracks from the White Album, Helter Skelter was interpreted by cult leader Charles Manson as a message predicting interracial war in the U.S. Manson titled his vision of this uprising after the song. Rolling Stone ranked it as 52 on its list of the 100 greatest Beatles songs, and that's there's other stuff here, but that's the main thing. I got the lyrics, which let me read you the lyrics. There are not many. Okay, I'm not going to sing them. No. I'll give you the lyric and you can sing it. When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide, where I stop and turn and I go for a ride, till I get to the bottom and I see you again. Don't you want me to love you? I'm coming down fast, but I'm miles above you. Tell me, come on, tell me the answer. Well, you may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer. Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter. And then it kind of repeats. So I don't know, but that's it. Well, the song came first. The song came first, and Manson took the song.
Adapted the lyrics to his vision of a race war.
Yeah,
Right.
I guess. All right, you want to take some calls? All right, you're on the radio. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Morning. Hey, Chris. What's up?
Usual. Great show as usual. You know, if you guys didn't mention it, you
Steve
never
Kane
know
Show.
you're in separate studios. Awesome.
Hey, yeah.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
A couple of things. I guess I'll start with the Beatles, Brian, when you mentioned that, they weren't a big deal to you, because timing is everything. I mean, they hit the U.S. in '64. I know I was born in '63, but they had a good 7-year run. So, you know, I kind of remember that, and it's a pretty big deal, but you're kind of after the fact, so.
That's correct. Yeah.
Well, but the thing with the Beatles, the thing that is great about the Beatles was their originality. None of those songs, well, most of them, they don't even sound like each other. I mean, each one is like unique and different, and they were just so creative. There's nothing comparable to the Beatles.
Most people, except in your case, most people love the music that was popular when they were in high school. So, I like music. I just don't like the Beatles. I never liked the Beatles.
and all music is some timeless classic, but the Beatles was really more about.
Although I'll tell you, there was something very interesting. Yeah. At the time, yeah.
Big Bee Gees fan.
Yeah, you're right, George.
But if you listen to the Bee Gees, you can hear a song, even if it's one you had.
Yeah, and it's Bee Gees.
It's like the Bee Gees, because every song has similar structure and sound. The Beatles weren't like that. Every song was like a totally different group.
Yeah.
That Beatles. Oh, you're absolutely right. You picked a great group to compare to the Bee Gees. You're right. Just one.
Yeah, Miami. There's a video on YouTube with Paul McCartney, which is really good. A couple years ago, he where are they from, Steve? In England? Liverpool. Paul McCartney drove around with James Corden, the late night talk show host. He drove around Liverpool and went by everything that the early songs was based on in the town. It was really interesting. And he did go around singing the songs as they went by, all these places. It was pretty, it's interesting stuff. All right, Chris. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's on YouTube if you guys want to look it up. You have your kids show it to you, Steve, on YouTube. You'll look. All right, Chris, take care. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hello.
My kids don't know anything.
They know YouTube, though. They can find you. They can find what I'm telling you about. You'll like it. You're on the air, caller. Go ahead.
This is RJ from Fort Lauderdale. How you doing?
All right.
Hey, RJ.
Okay. Just a side note, there's a book, Helter Skelter, I believe, written by an attorney.
Yeah.
And it's fairly interesting. It's a pretty good read.
Isn't that Bugliosi? Who wrote that book? Yeah, I think he wrote the book. Helter Skelter.
Fairly good read, and, Charlie had, I read it years ago, but he had justification and rationalization. There's a paragraph, he made a statement, he says, listen, I took your degenerates and your rejects and everything, and I fed them, and he had it's a very good paragraph. I don't have it verbatim, but it's a good read. I'm surprised.
Good read.
Read it.
Hey, Steve, weren't you in the courtroom with Manson? Was that you? You were in the courtroom with Manson, weren't you?
In fact, yes, I was. I was in the first row, and I had a lot of interplay with Charlie.
Really?
I was about 10 feet from him.
Oh my goodness.
He was a character.
Some art. Don't you have?
I had a great sketch. The courtroom artist did a sketch of Charlie, and unfortunately, I sold it for a ridiculously low number.
Oh.
I think I got about $300.
Oh my goodness.
But
how'd you get that? Would you take it out of the garbage can? How'd you get the sketch? Oh, he gave it to you? He just gave it to you?
Yeah, he did a whole bunch of them as he was watching the trial.
Oh my goodness.
Sketches of Manson, and he'd take the best ones and he'd give
I wonder what that would be worth today. I wonder what that would be worth. Thousands. That'd be worth thousands.
Could be more than 300.
That's for sure.
if you don't have if you have extra time, the book's a pretty good read. If you got
Yeah, Helter Skelter. Yeah, that's what they based the movie on too. Was that book? Bugliosi wrote the book. I'm pretty sure he wrote the book.
The book isn't the movie, so.
Okay. All right. Appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Yeah. See ya. Oh boy. Well, we're out of time, Steve. Yeah.
Orthopedic chairs, the ones where you can just lean back and kind of float, and that's the only thing that's missing. And otherwise, this new studio, the Lori K production,
I know it came out well.
we're at the end, so Director Tyler Kane, my partner Brian Craig, and I, of course, yours truly, Steve Kane. Until tomorrow, God bless America.
Guys, thanks for watching. Listen, before you go.
WWNN Palm Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Before you go, make sure you like the video, okay? Because these liberal trolls keep hitting the dislike. Oh, somebody sent me a package. Let's see what it is. A listener sent me this package. It just was delivered. You want to see what it is? Let's see what it is. These are are these the hardest things to open? Came from Amazon Prime. Let's see what it is. Don't leave. I'm going to show you what's in my package. It's light. Can't tell if it's... Oh, thank you. Let's find out. Can't get the thing open. Let's see what it is. Okay. A box. Let's see what's in the box. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice. Oh my goodness. It's a Trump clock. Look at that. It even has a stand. Is that awesome? It doesn't say who it came from, though. I know, isn't that awesome? I guess they want me to put it up back here. It's kind of far. You guys can't see it when it's back there. I don't know. I know, it is nice. I wonder if my wife will let me put this up at home. You think my wife will let me put this up at home? That's pretty cool. All right, guys, take care. I'll see. Take it home. I think if I put it on the wall, it'll get stolen. I don't think it'll stay there. Yours has Trump face. Oh, okay. I like this one, Trump 2020. That's a collectible. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everyone.